You've been hired to lead a team, and by golly, you are ready to do so. The problem is your team, they don't want to follow your lead. They're not ready, they're not willing, they're not able. Now what? Welcome to the channel, Leadership with Mike. On this channel, I help you become a more confident leader, and I do this with no nonsense sense, if that makes any sense. Hey, 2 days, we go live on opening up the No Nonsense Leadership Academy. Shh, didn't hear it from me. If your team doesn't want to follow, you may feel like they have a problem, like they need to grow up, they need to understand. You don't have a they problem. It sounds like you have a you problem. So how do we fix the you problem? First of all, you start or you make sure you continue being consistent. Consistency means saying one thing and doing it. So many people want to say what sounds right, but then they go and do something totally different. When you are consistent, and this can also be in your demeanor, when you come into the room and you're smiling and you're just a fun person, be that person. Try to control your emotions, your state as well as you can. I know you're only human. But when people see that John, he comes in, he's pretty even. But then you've got Jake, and he's like, today he's up here, he's a great guy. And tomorrow he's in the ditch and he hates everybody. Your staff won't follow you if you're highs and lows and highs and lows. They're going to follow you when you're consistent in your actions, but also in your demeanor. The next way to get your team to follow you is to give them trust. You want them to trust you. I know you do, because I want people to trust me. I want my team to say, well, if Mike says this is the way to do it, that's the way to do it. I trust what he says. But here's the thing. You need to be able to give your team that trust first. And part of doing that is just acknowledging that they are the expert. They're the frontline staff. So trust that they know what they're doing. Trust that they know what's going on. This doesn't mean to blindly just hands off, but it's to show the trust. If you see something that's not quite right or needs to be adjusted, make mention of it. But make sure you are showing that you trust your team. The next thing, and this I feel goes hand in hand with trust, is respect. Respect your team. Respect that they have lives outside of work. Respect that they may have different emotions coming in. I know I told you to be consistent with your emotions and how you come in, but your staff, expect them to have off days, and respect that. Respect that they have an expertise and they have opinions about the way things should be done. And in my opinion, you want to hear out what they think, how they would do something. Respect that experience. Now, what goes hand in hand with trust and respect is acknowledgement. Acknowledging their expertise. Acknowledging that they are the subject matter expert. But also acknowledge when they've done something right. Acknowledge when you're happy with an outcome. Just the simple. And you may say, yeah, but I have to give all this to, I've got some staff that aren't performing. So I'm letting my A team, they're kind of, they're self-sufficient. Make sure you take time to acknowledge your A team. Make sure that your top performers know that you see what they're doing. Know that you appreciate what they're doing. And then they will easily follow you. The next way to get your team to follow you is for you to genuinely ask them how you can help. So many managers, so many leaders don't ask how they can help. They may jump in and try to help out, but maybe even just get in the way. But if you genuinely ask the individuals on your team how you can help them, you'd be surprised at the answers that come. There are supplies they can't get. There are customers they're unable to reach. There's red tape that they can't get through. This is where you shine. You come in and help them where they need help, not necessarily where you think you can help. The next way that I find teams will follow you to the end is when you're firm but fair. What this means is You have a set way of doing things. These are the expectations, and you are firm with what they are. But that being said, you have a heart. You're a human. You understand that things can slip. You understand that sometimes we need to bend the rules. That's where the fairness comes in, where you look at a situation and you can say, yeah, I understand how we may need to pivot on this moment. People will follow a leader that is firm and fair. When they know the expectations of them, they can meet them. And when they know that the person that they're talking to has a heart and can be fair across the board, that's when you get people falling in line. The next thing is you need to be able to admit mistakes. You need to be able to admit that you don't know everything, that you may not have answers. So many managers and leaders that I've met are so terrified to admit they'd screwed up. They're so terrified to look silly in front of their team if they don't have the answer. But what happens is people will know when you screw up. And when you try to brush it off like it's not a big deal, they lose respect for you. They don't trust you. When you try to bullshit an answer to them and they know that's not the right answer, they know that you are just scared. They know that you have no clue what's going on because you lied. You don't have the answer. So please, if you want your team to follow you, admit when you make mistakes. Admit when you don't know something. But furthermore, go and find out that something. Go learn and then bring the answer back to the team. They will be shocked that you didn't forget it. Now, if you are one of the people that are having a hard time with a new team, a young team, a senior team, I highly recommend that you look into joining the No Nonsense Leadership Academy. This is a group that I've put together. I have international leadership experts that guide me and help me with what I'm going through. We get together monthly for live Zoom calls where we can discuss issues. There's opportunities for you and I to have one-on-ones. There's opportunities for you to build a new best friend community in our community. So I highly recommend you consider joining because you don't have to do this all on your own. You don't have to try to plug and play different YouTube videos to figure out how to get your team to follow. All you need to do is join the academy. Myself, my international leadership experts, and the other members of the community are there for you. And we, as a group, we will not fail. Now, we talked about why your team isn't following you, but let's also talk about what they're begging you to do or stop doing. Get your coffee. I'll see you there. Ciao.